Hello everybody. It's lovely to be here celebrating 10 years of PEN and the fantastic work that everyone has been doing, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all of your tremendous work and your presentations. I think it's more important than ever to be celebrating what we do together and what can be achieved when a group of people can come around a problem and look at the impact they can have on, for the better, on patients' lives and well-being. So I think it is really tremendous that you, Ruth, and Louise and Helen have found a way for us to do this virtually instead of meeting in person. So I won't take up too much time at all today because very keen to hear all the terrific work, but I guess it's been the case for us, as I imagine it might have been for you, which is that it's been a bit of a strange 6 months, and it's been something of a whirlwind, and we've started to get involved in other teams' work in a way that is not usually the case for us. So, for example, our team started to get involved in the volunteer responder work. We've also been supporting the national comms efforts of NHS England and improvement, while still trying to navigate what it is we do on a day-to-day basis, which of course felt the impact of working through a pandemic. So just a few updates for information really. The staff survey was one of our main areas of what do we do here then, pieces of work. So the staff survey will be going ahead as usual in a few weeks' time. So if you haven't heard about that already, hopefully your local organisational comms will be kicking into effect. We did make some changes. There are some new questions in the staff survey this year so that we'll be able to understand the responses of staff in a bit more detail. So, for example, were they redeployed? Were they working in a COVID area? So that we can actually really drill down into the data and understand it in a different way than we might normally do. We've also been developing the work of our under 16s cancer patient experience survey. It's a brand new survey. It has taken quite a while to get to this point, but we're hoping we'll see that soon, maybe even next year. So that's been developed together with parents, with young people who have lived through cancer treatment and experience, with trusts and CCGs and charities and everybody that you would think would have an interest in the output of that survey. So that's been a big piece of work we've continued with. And I guess the of the moment news is about the Friends and Family Test, and we paused the collection of the data over the height of the pandemic so that people could focus on the more pressing matters. But of course, listening to patients is always important. And we had a good session yesterday organised through colleagues at the Hope Network, where we heard some really terrific examples of how teams have carried on listening to patients over these past few months, whether it was to check in with patients on how they're doing, to understand what the new types of service delivery have meant for patients and whether they're comfortable in this new virtual world, and some with the outlook of this doesn't lessen in importance just because there happens to be this incredibly life-changing thing going on around us. We still need to be keeping in contact with our patients. So we recorded that webinar, and when our next FFT update goes out in a few weeks, I'm hopeful we'll be able to include the recording link for that. So if you weren't able to join, you can catch up. The conversation was really rich as well about how do we get going with FFT, some practical pointers around QR codes and text messaging and paper and infection control and all the stuff that all of a sudden is now become really important again. So when we go live with FFT again, when we reintroduce it, the plan is that people would collect as a country. We'll start collecting again from December and submit that December data in January so that we'll have the publication in February. So please do seek support if you would like to get some support in terms of how do we get going. We would like people to start to use the new guidance when you kind of reinstate Friends and Family Test if you've paused it. So that's all about the new question. It's all about much more flexibility than we had in the past. So you can really make it work for you in terms of the timing and the other things you can do with it, just as those other people talked about to us yesterday. You could ask questions to find out about discharge and how that's working or not working, if that's the case. But we've updated all of our web pages. We still have the help desk. If you need any questions answering, the help desk address is england.friendsandfamilytest@nhs.uk. I think that's about it that I wanted to say. So yeah, I'm happy to take questions in the chat. And that's it. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. Thank you so much for using Insight for Improvement and continuing to improve the lives of the people around you. And over to you.